Hello, everybody. A little ironic that we're here in the Montreal Racket Club wine cellar talking to our latest company at the CSE involved in cannabis, Northbud. We have Ryan Braune here, the president and CEO of the company. So thanks very much for coming down, Ryan. Really appreciate you coming from Gatineau. I know you got a lot of exciting news that you're going to tell us, but first give us an overview of Northbud, please.
Yeah, so Northbud Farms is a company that primary asset is a cannabis cultivation facility that's in the last stages of licensing with Health Canada. We're located on 130 acres of land about 40 minutes north of Ottawa in the province of Quebec. We're building out a 24,500 square foot indoor production facility, as well as a 500,000 square foot outdoor facility. And we've also recently started looking to acquire strategic, experienced operators in the United States that provide unique brands or unique value in up and coming or developed US legal markets.
So that's a perfect segue. You're down here closing one of your first acquisitions. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, we've got the guys from Eureka Vapor. They're a multi-state operator in California and Colorado. I've been in town for a few days just doing some of their final due diligence as we work towards finalizing our acquisition. Eureka is a very unique company in a sense that they're some of the more experienced oil extractors manufacturing vape cartridges in California and Colorado since 2011, 2015. We're really excited to complete our acquisition, to bring the Eureka products into Canada, as well as help Eureka expand their existing brand throughout the US.
Fantastic. And actually, we do have the president of Eureka here, and we're going to do a short interview after Ryan is done with us. So Ryan, give us an idea of what your big view is, sort of longer term. Are you looking at more acquisitions? Are you going to grow internally now?
Yeah, I think our expansion's two-pronged. We obviously are excited to get licensed in Canada and start the process of getting product into the Canadian market. But we also see unique opportunities in the U.S. to, in certain states, to acquire, legacy operators that are transitioning from one regulatory environment to the other. I think, unlike some companies that are in the business of acquiring licenses, we're looking to acquire businesses. We're looking to acquire operational know-how and operational understanding, which I think we've seen in Canada wasn't apparent at the beginning, and I think there's an increased value being placed on those who have 10, 12 plus years experience in this field, as opposed to just acquiring paper licenses in certain states. So our acquisition model is a little bit different than others, but we think it fits well for a company our size and would provide significant returns for us as a company moving forward.
And why did you choose Eureka as your first one?
Looking at the upcoming changes in the Canadian market, where vape cartridges, the derivatives, edibles will be available come October, right. We thought that focusing on a company that was a master of vape cartridges, that has developed recognized brands and a premium brand in two very sophisticated and competitive markets, being California and Colorado, that we could leverage that to both introduce these high quality products into the Canadian market, which is very much a market devoid of a large vape cartridge market, vape cartridge user base right now. But post October 17th, we're expecting that to be, as you've seen in other jurisdictions, one of the more profitable and desired product SKUs, and so leveraging the unmatched knowledge and understanding of that space from the Eureka team just made a lot of sense for us when we looked at acquisitions.
And give everybody, your audience here, an idea of how do you plan on branding in Canada? I mean, as we know, there are some limitations put out by the government. But do you have some specific ideas of how you're going to brand your Eureka specifically?
I think that using the Eureka technology, using their intellectual property, their understanding will allow us to create a really high-end product. And I think in the Canadian market right now, focusing on creating a stellar product that stands above the rest is the best branding that you can have. I think you've seen some companies that have done a really good job of establishing a premium brand in a market that doesn't allow necessarily for branding. So our focus is really on making really good products and developing the brand around that, as opposed to conceptualizing a brand and then trying to fit potential customers into that brand mold or products into that brand mold. You start with a good product and work your way backwards, and that's our that's our approach.
Fantastic. Thanks very much for your time. We appreciate you coming down, and good luck in the future with Northbud.
Thank you very much.
Hello everybody, Scott Pritchard here in beautiful Montreal in the wine cellar, the Montreal Racket Club, talking cannabis again. So we are now talking with Justin Braune, who's here from California and is with Eureka, which was just recently acquired by Northbud on the CSE. So welcome, great to have you here.
Oh, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
I was told that you have a very interesting background coming from California in the cannabis industry. Why don't we start with that, Justin, and we can go from there.
Well, a little more kind of unique fact about myself. Prior to California, I was a United States Naval Academy graduate and nuclear engineer, and operated the nuclear reactors on the USS Ronald Reagan.
Moly. Wow.
Home port in San Diego, which is the reason I came to California in the first place.
Okay.
And a series of unforeseen events landed me in the cannabis industry, and we're about 10 years deep now.
From nuclear to cannabis. Okay, all right, there's a segue. And what have you been doing recently in the cannabis industry?
I've been quite busy. Prior to Eureka, we just had a very nice exit at Made by Science, which was acquired by Acreage Holdings for $160 million.
Oh, wow.
So a great.
Was all you're doing, was it?
I'd love to claim that, but there's a full team and chief scientific officer who's pretty brilliant that all added to the mix. It was all hands on deck event, but it was a great experience, and thank you.
So then you moved on to Eureka, is that right?
Yeah, okay. I went looking for my next opportunity, and Eureka had all the right ingredients and all the potential to really go to the next level. I have a pretty strong Rolodex of relationships I've acquired over the years, and Ryan is one of them. And Northbud, I couldn't have more respect for what he's done at Tetra, now at Northbud. And we just sat down and started talking, and there was a lot of synergies, more than we even originally realized.
Where did you guys meet up originally? Was it one of the cannabis conferences, or?
I believe it might have been an MJ Biz, or a small conference.
It's a
actually,
small
MJIC
one in Las
had,
Vegas, isn't it? It's
that,
like
that tiny little one, yeah.
30,000 people.
Probably about 3 times that now, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And so what are you manufacturing, or what are you making? I'm not sure you're manufacturing them yourselves, but what are your products?
So Eureka Vapor is a multi-state operator. We are licensed manufacturers and distributors in California and in Colorado. Okay. And an interesting fact about Eureka is we were one of the very first brands and companies to ever extract cannabis oil and put it in the vape cartridge in the state of California.
Okay. Wow. So you're not going offshore to manufacture it?
No, we were one of the first to adopt. Actually, we own, I think, 1 or 2 or number 3 or 4 of Apex Supercriticals machines that ever rolled off the factory floor.
Fantastic.
And now Andy in Apex is a staple in the industry. So one day they'll probably be in a cannabis museum somewhere.
So you're staying on to run the company and expand it out of California, out of LA? Is that what the
Correct.
plan
So
is? Okay.
we're already in 2 states, and we are in active discussions for about 3 more states, and these are much more serious conversations than initial interest. We're actively pursuing applications, searching real estate out, and then when regulations allow in Canada, our expertise in manufacturing could be a very beneficial asset to have as Canada rolls out a future vape industry.
Absolutely. Well, it's a real pleasure to have you here. Congratulations on the pass. We look forward to hearing more about you at Northbud and continue the good work. Maybe just before you go, though, could you give us a little blue sky on what you think is happening in the U.S.? Because, here in Canada, we're never really sure, from a federal level, obviously, where what Trump's thinking or what the government's thinking?
So,
I'm sure you have a
complete
red phone,
speculation.
eh?
Complete speculation here, but I have a feeling that the decision. This is just my gut.
Yeah.
The decision's already made, and it's going to be dropped prior to the election with enough time
Wow.
to
Okay.
have the uprise in being the one to have deschedulized cannabis.
Right. Okay.
I think it's a bipartisan agreement that there's medicinal value in it,
Right.
so it should not be Schedule 1. And when that happens, Oregon is already entertaining interstate commerce, even though it's federally illegal. So I mean, people are already putting the foundation in place for interstate commerce, and it's going to be crucial to own your own infrastructure as far as from farm to vape cart. Not necessary to maintain quality, because I think there's a lot of fantastic producers and cultivators, but to be able to maintain your price point, to be competitive. And I think it's going to see a mass consolidation in the industry.
Okay,
and so
right.
the North Bud
Yeah.
partnership is more strategic than just expansion. It's strategic in expanding our infrastructure, and to include committed, guaranteed biomass for our vape carts.
Perfect. Well, thanks again. Very,
You're welcome.
very exciting times, and good luck with North Bud, and we hope to see you again soon here in Montreal.
We intend to make waves.
Great.
Hi, it's Grace from the CFC reminding you to make sure to follow us on social media for the latest updates on our listed companies as well as new listing alerts. For more in-depth content, be sure to pick up our free quarterly magazine, Public Entrepreneur, available online at thecsc.com.